Hey, it's Audrey. I've got a video planned to do this week. Talk about oil and pearls and all sorts of cool stuff, which should be pretty good. And I hope that you would absolutely listen to that. But this video is not that video. This video I'm doing because I couldn't not do this video. It would just be weird if I didn't do this video. In case you're watching this at a time where it may not particularly make sense, about 2 weeks ago, a black man called George Floyd was killed when a white police officer kept his knee on this man's throat, sustained it over several minutes to the point that he couldn't breathe and eventually lost his life. This was all being filmed, and people who were bystanding were shouting out to the police officer to stop, to take note of the man's struggle, to let him be. And they didn't stop, even though this was all on camera. He died, he lost his life, and it has caused an uproar. Protests have ensued in the United States, in the UK, all over the place. There's been this flare-up, this awareness of truths about racism, truths about white privilege, truths about the walk of the person of colour. And so, as a person of colour, where so many people are commenting, and I have a vlog platform, I can't say nothing, surely. I have my own experiences for sure. I grew up in East Africa as a refugee. I spent many years and went to medical school in South Africa soon after Nelson Mandela had become president, and so was witness to the country officially becoming a rainbow nation while it unofficially ploughed its way through the realities of racism. I moved to the UK, and I live now in the United Kingdom, in a part of the country which is predominantly white. I work in a place where most of my patients are white. I have learned, like many of us, how to put on the face and give across the air that would put my fellow white person at ease. I have learnt that look that comes across a patient's face when they walk into my consultation room, and I can see in their eyes the thought, oh no, it's one of them. And I've learnt that response that has to rise out of me, the way that I pitch my voice and the words that I choose, so that immediately from what comes out of my mouth, they're put at ease, that I am not stupid or ignorant, that I can speak English, and that I am equipped to address their need. It has to come out quickly so that they can just sit down and we can get on with the business at hand. It's what we do. We all do it. We've learned how to do it. Is it right? No. But so we now learn, hopefully, to plow through and get to a place where racial reconciliation is a real thing. For the Christian, it's essential. My husband has told me on many occasions that he feels safe when he walks out with the kids. As a black man who's over 6 foot and has a penchant for hoodies, he knows that in any given situation in public, the immediate underlying response to him will be one of guardedness, aware that he's likely to be a threat. And so he's learned to walk a certain way, hold himself a certain way, set his face a certain way, so as to be non-threatening. He's learned that when he goes out for a walk with our kids, he can be free because he's seen as a daddy first, and then as a black man. And so he can breathe and just be. This is a truth. Proud African man, and this is the truth of his existence in a predominantly white space. I have a white South African friend who is one of my best friends. We went to medical school together, and she is an incredible woman. And she sent me this text message that I'm about to read to you. The words are piercing. The words should be in a book. She's written and articulated so beautifully the experience that she is going through now, having watched the video of George Floyd being killed. There is probably no better way for me to say what I'm learning about this situation than to just read out to you what this beautiful woman has written. Bearing in mind that it's written by a white person, I implore all of you to reflect it back upon ourselves, because I think these words are true and should be true for each of us. Have a listen. I was stunned at just how intimately racism is woven into American society, law enforcement, healthcare, education, and politics. Being a white South African, I am acutely aware of the suffering my ancestors, family, and myself have caused, even if it is by not doing enough. Our response is simple. We owe reparations of an unjust war. It is always in my mind, and I hope it will be there for the rest of my life to drive my actions for good. I realized that there was also a spiritual dimension to George Floyd's murder. As the footage froze on the main perpetrator's face, I was struck by a profoundly unsettling thought. He is a mere human being. So am I. If he has such hate in him, then I must have some hidden away too. His hate grew from a tiny spark, and over many years it was fanned and coaxed into an ardent flame that was then easily seen and acted as a beacon. I cried and cried at witnessing hate in action, and at the realization that I must have tiny sparks too. And just because I don't recognize them doesn't mean they aren't there. I cried at witnessing how hate destroys, and realized I have the same potential within me as this man with his knee calmly crushing the neck of a fellow human being. How do I respond to this horror? The only path I see is to ask God to find my blind spots of hate and scrub them out with a wire brush until the area is raw and ready to grow new, vital and positive flesh. I need these areas washed clean. I need a being of pure love to identify these areas and remove them, because I am too morally fragile. I will hide myself from myself. I don't want to be able to give a whisper of air to a spark. I need that tinderbox removed. I need to focus strongly on him, so it is only love and light that guide my actions. I hope to be a beacon too, but of a very different light. A verse, a favorite of mine, has had a new dimension for me this morning. A light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not understood or overcome it. Jesus, that's the being that she speaks of. Jesus, that's the light who shines through, that the darkness shall not overcome. If you don't know him, I strongly recommend that you get to know him. If you do know him, you need to get to work.